Hello. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. My name's Alison and this clip is about core awareness. So I'm going to define what the core is and then look at how you would kind of understand and feel what's going on in your own core, and then see about some solutions to things that might be a problem to you and some gentle strength exercises too. So let's talk definitions first. I find it best to talk about the breath core because what the breath does has such an effect on the core container and the core abdominal wall. So your inner unit of core stability is your diaphragm, the breathing muscle at the top, your deepest layer of abdominal wall going all the way around towards your spine where it joins up with spine muscles, and at the bottom of your container you have your pelvic floor. And that container, the kind of second by second movement of that container is governed by the breath. You breathe in, the diaphragm expands down, your pelvic floor expands down and your abdominal wall expands out, and the opposite thing happens on the in-breath. So to get a good core connection, even if we're just thinking about the abdominals stabilizing the body, you need a good breath core connection. So what does the breath core look like? Well, I'll give you a close-up of what it looks like here. So this first one is the ideal breath core expansion. So the ribs expand, the front and the back and the sides, although you can't see the back, and the abdominal wall rises as well. If you're more of a belly breather, it looks like this, with a lot into the abdominal wall and not very much into the ribs. So when you breathe in, you want to feel this expansion of the ribs and of the abdominal wall. So if you are someone who feels like nothing very much is happening, it could be that you're used to being quite braced or tight in your abs, and it may seem really unlikely, but you need to let go of that tension and let your body move, let your body expand with each in-breath, and then it will kind of unexpand with each out-breath. So let go of that tension, let go of that bracing. Sometimes the rib cage doesn't move because you're a little bit stiff, and there's some easy ways you can just get more mobility into your rib cage and your spine just to allow everything to move a little bit more. So really simply, if you just put your hands on your head like this and do circles with your elbows and just get the shoulder blades moving, it can have a really good effect on getting the rib cage a little bit more mobile. If you don't care for this version, you might be more used to shoulder rolls like that. So it's a really easy thing to do. Get the shoulder blades moving to get the rib cage moving more. Another option is to go directly for the spine. If you've got a squishy ball, you can pop your squishy ball underneath your shoulder blades, put your hands underneath your head to support the weight of the head, and do really a modified spine curl, so you're back bending over the ball and gently forward bending away from the ball. So allow yourself to melt or mould into the ball, and that's going to again move the spine and mobilize the ribs. If you haven't got a ball, then cat-cow will suffice. Another way to just easily get the spine moving. I'm only going to do one cat-cow. I've got another clip on my channel for that if you just put a search in. Okay, so because I know not everyone has a ball, but if you do have one, there's something else you can do. You can it works particularly if you side lie. So put the ball underneath your rib cage, and then you'll need support with your arms just to keep your head in alignment, and breathe into the ball. And the ball acts like a fascial release tool, like a foam roller, but softer. And you can just allow the tissues to expand over the ball and stretch and open and expand. You can have the ball on your ribs, a little bit onto your waistline. You can move into the ball like that. You can just play around with it and just allow the expansion of the breath to have the stretch over the ball. To be honest, you could also lie on your back with the ball, but you'd need to make sure that your head was supported, and you can also even have the ball on your chest like this and support yourself and breathe and spread and stretch. But my experience is the side lying one is the most tolerable. So if when you did your breath core assessment, you felt more of an expansion into the belly when you breathed in and not so much into your ribs. It's an inexact science, this. You want everything to expand. But if your sense, or if someone watches you, you get all your expansion there, that probably is a belly breath. And I'll put a clip in here of one of my previous clips of how to address belly breathing and try and get your body expanding more in the ribs with less in the belly. So to come back to this business of awareness, it's not something we're taught, some kind of awareness of how our bodies move and sensations, but it is a useful thing. So if you lie there and you breathe and you don't kind of feel anything, and of course if you're doing it to yourself you don't really see much either, then a really great way to have a felt sensation of the breath core is to do a thing called candles breathing. So I think it's probably easier to do this lying down, but because you can offload the body and relax, but you can actually perfectly well be sitting in a chair or standing up. So seeing as I've got a mat here, I'm going to lie down. So lie down, have your knees bent, relax your body, and then breathe in. And when you breathe out, you're going to blow out birthday candles. Now, I know you might think you go to blow out birthday candles, so it's not, so you've got to kind of play around with this metaphor. You're going to breathe out slowly and carefully. So, and that action of the pursed lips and the breathing will stimulate the abdominal wall to tighten. And it's fantastic because you can play around with the timing, more candles, more tightness, and you can feel ideally what it is for the abdominal wall to breathe in and rise slightly and breathe out and descend. Not only that, but you can try and see if you can feel that tightness in kind of more to the side of your container. And another watch point is to try and feel if you can feel the tightness down towards your pubic bone end of the core wall. Don't just have your hand here. That's relevant, but it's also a little bit easier. So play around and feel that container is tightening in gently as you blow out your candles. The final thing is, it might just be like with a lot of muscles, your issue might be a basic weakness. Now, how that presents is if you're doing a core exercise, then you are not able to maintain a neutral spine, so your back arches when it's meant to be neutral, or your abdominal wall bulges when it's meant to be tight. So, So if you did an exercise like dead bug, for instance, so in theory, you have a neutral spine and your legs come up, the abdominal wall tightens, and then you can bring the arms up and do other things. But what can be problematic is if you can only get up by rounding your back, which is working your six-pack muscle, which is a relevant exercise but a different muscle. Or when you come up with particularly your second leg, the abdominal wall bulges up to the ceiling rather than tightens in, and often the back arches as well. So that's a sign the muscle is not strong enough. So if you think your breath-core connection's okay, as I say, consider strength. But the problem is, what core exercise do you do if dead bug or a double knee raise is too hard for you? Well, a lovely one that I like to do is this. Just bring one leg up. So go do everything right. Maybe blow candles as well for awareness. So breathe in, breathe out. Little blow, bit of tension through your abdominal wall. Bring one leg up and just leave that. But then put your hand to your knee and your knee to your hand. This is an isometric exercise. So you're going to apply pressure, hand to knee, knee to hand. So there's not going to be any overall movement in the body, but there's tension in the hand, in the thigh, but tension in the abdominal wall as well. And then that's an excellent way to make this work and to try and assess that it's tightening in, not bulging out, but it's much easier than two legs. So obviously do both legs. And the other thing, I would only do the isometric on an out breath, because that's when you want the abdominal wall to tighten and to draw in. So breathe in, breathe out, and press. And just have a play with that. And you've got a spare hand, you can put it on your abdominal wall just to check it's drawing in. One final option for that would be a heel slide. So I'm going to just move my mat. The hard bit of this exercise is when you draw them back in. You'd think it would be sliding out, but it's sliding back in. So breathe in, legs away. Breathe out, legs back. Now that is surprisingly tricky. And you might find the full straight leg thing is too hard. But this one, again, you can reduce your range of movement. You've got both hands now to feel the abdominal wall tightening and the spine staying in the same place. So double heel slides can be super useful as well. These exercises seem simple, and I think there's a widespread assumption that because they're simple and basic, then they're easy. Honestly, they're not. You're not alone if you struggle. And rather than sort of ignore the struggle and think it'll go away, it won't. Take some time and do these basic exercises so that you have the confidence that your breath core is working well, and from there you can build. And if the deep abdominals are working well, it's a great basis for working the other layers of the abs, the six-pack muscle and your obliques. But anyway, I'm going to finish there. I hope you found that helpful. Cheerio. Hi there. I do hope you found this clip useful. We've got plenty more on the site, and for now I've suggested another one for you to watch. If you want to know more about what we do in Leeds, then do visit the website at pilates-leeds.com, and right now you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. We can do this all again next month. Cheerio!